Okay, so I got a little carried away and forgot to start recording. But I just kind of got excited how this color turned out. Normally, you know, with green orc skin, I either mix yellow into it or an even lighter green, you know, to kind of get a really cool highlighting effect on the miniature. But in this case, what I've done is I've taken Commando Khaki and Catachan Green and mixed the two together. I mix them in this, you know, in the top of the pot here, you know, and the way I do it is I just take, you know, a little from this one and wipe it on there, and then a little from this one and wipe it on there, and then, you know, I just dip my brush in my water and kind of swirl them around until I get the desired effect, you know, add or take away to the mix. And I just started testing it out, and I sort of accidentally did the whole step on the front of him. So this is basically what I did. So now what I'm going to do is use a little bit more Commando Khaki than I was before in the same mix. Just, you know, in the ratio, I'm going to put more Commando Khaki than I am Catachan Green until I come up with the next layer of paint that is even lighter. And this will be like probably the final highlight one. Then we're looking at what? I lost count, 5 or 6 layers on the skin. This is the highlight where you want to you know, really get like the edges of the ears like so. You want to really get like the jawline, the tips of the jaw there, you know, really bring them out. Maybe get this upper lip just a little tiny bit. Now you'll notice I did not highlight the bottom lip at all as we were going through this, his bottom lip, and that's because that's, you know, pretty much the effect I wanted. Some people like the lips lighter than the normal skin. I like them darker. I mean, that's just what we're used to looking at when we look at other people, you know. So I kind of was just going for a, you know, just recognizable, you know, things that you see in nature. You know what I'm saying? Only, you know, green, because they're orcs. And man, my kids are all having meltdowns. Sorry. Okay, I thought I was recording earlier. I have made some changes to the base. I went over it with the first layer of basically it's scorched brown, Games Workshop color, scorched brown, and chaos black. About a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 parts scorched brown and 1 part chaos black. And then, of course, I added water to it, and I went over the whole base, the blue rocks, the yellow rocks, all of them with it. And you can see the difference between this guy's base and this guy's base. Okay, so you can see how that stain really brings out the detail, and it gets some brown, you know, back on those blue rocks to make them look a little more natural and not so like, oh, what the hell, blue rocks, you know. Because slate does have a lot of blue in it. It's got a lot of brown and a lot of gray as well, but it is one of the more blue rocks, especially depending on different regions where you go. So let me focus in here, and I'll just show you how it goes on. So that's, let me see. So that is before the stain, and then as I apply the stain,
you can see how it makes it look a whole lot more natural, a whole lot more and you can just glop the stain on there too, because it'll go where it's supposed to as it dries. Now the only drawback to this step here is you pretty much don't want to handle the miniature. You want to set them aside and let this stain dry, especially if you put it on as heavy as I did. In my opinion, on the base, the heavier the better, as long as you have the stain thinned, you know, ratio color to water at the consistency that you want. But really good coverage is best. You know, really flood it, and it will reactivate the white glue if you have used that. It will reactivate it a little bit, so the rocks will be prone to falling off as well. But the main concern, you know, while it's drying, the rocks will be prone to falling off, but the main concern is that you get into painting it and then you get it on your fingers, and then, you know, you touch the miniature where you've already highlighted the skin and everything, and you know, and or you turn it upside down to get some detail, you know, or something that you missed, and then it dribbles up his leg, and then he's got this brown doo-doo run looking thing going up his leg, you know, and you don't want that. So that's that. Okay, so let's paint a few things here. Okay, so remember what I told you about the fur? Well, let's go ahead and go do that now. Some time has elapsed and the base is dry, so all I'm doing is really getting the very edge of this fur, the very bottom edge of it. You know, it kinda, since I started doing it this way, I'm just gonna go ahead and stick with it, but really to match this miniature well, I would have went with, you know, I maybe not highlighted it so much, and kind of went with more of a dirty look, since everything else about this orc is dirty. You know, it's like, I guess we'll just have to pretend he killed the wolf or whatever yesterday. Okay, so there's that highlight. Then also we are going to finally move this light out of it. It's a bit too much light. Okay, that's a bit better. Alright, so we're finally going to start to paint the sword. Now, I have my Reaper Kowalski brush here, and it is a number 5, and these are fantastic brushes, but this is a bit small for doing the sword. If we want to spend any decent amount of time doing it, I will use this to paint the handle of the sword here, copper. Having a hard time locating my copper. High production videos. Yeah. Okay. So this is another mixed color that I made. It's a mix of Games Workshop. You can see it as I apply it onto the sword of his handle. It's a mix of Games Workshop dwarf bronze and the Reaper copper color, so it's really kind of a strange looking color.